developing and supporting actives into the market. But I give you one example that how it often works. I've been approached by a good friend who is a practitioner, and he had a case he reported of a dog that he couldn't get his head around. It was on fever, on and off. It was on diarrhea, on and off. Doesn't feel well. And then we discussed the anamnesis, and I said, look, I can give you only the parasitologist perspective, but have you thought about strongyloides? And he said, strongy what? So maybe he has heard it years back in his parasitology courses, but it was not there. So I explained it to him. I gave him a recommendation on a treatment, and that was it. And weeks later we met, and he said, hey, I remember that thing, and I wanted to tell you that your recommendation seemed to work. The dog is well, is putting on weight again. The clinical signs have gone, so we might be right. So certainly this is a bit unpleasant for someone as a veterinary parasitologist. We don't really have a diagnosis, but the diagnostic treatment seemed to work, and it showed me things from we have to inform beyond the typical classical parasites into the veterinary clinic, for there are challenges in there now and then. It's not the general, but it's always these are the interesting cases. That's the one thing. And certainly with good information we could solve that part. And I also told him, I said, look, have you please informed the owner as well, because strongyloides is certainly a real zoonotic threat to both the animal and the owner. Why do I mention this one? Hard to diagnose, even hard to really give a good recommendation of treatment. However, it impacts the health of the pet and the owner and the public health. So one of the examples, we very often neglect some of these parasites. This is a nematode, but we have to take care and have to pay attention. This is what our obligation is, and this is certainly a real good thing on One Health. Come to us, veterinarians, come to us, veterinary parasitologists, because certainly on most of these that impact the human health, we have way more knowledge than any of our practicing human doctors.